folks, welcome to Standing Room Only. I'm Amanda Marcotte. Earlier this week, I was at the Sprouts grocery store and I was looking at this shelf that had all sorts of health foods on it. And in the middle of it were jars of beef tallow, which is a fancy word for lard. This is the crap you could go to the butcher shop and they would just hand it to you out the back door. And they were selling them for like $20 a jar. But I unfortunately do know the reason that beef tallow is suddenly being priced like you're buying caviar at the grocery store.
This is how we cook the Maha way. This is beef tallow fat. Look at this. Put it in very slowly. Honey, are you going to eat some of this?
No.
President Trump wants us to have radical transparency and to incentivize companies like this one to switch to traditional ingredients like beef tallow. Steak and Shake just switched out, and people are raving about these French fries. We're very grateful for them for RFKing the French fries. They turned me into a verb.
You could cook the fried chicken in the beef tallow. People are putting it on their face, too. It's supposed to help with wrinkles.
Really? Oh, wow. You can buy beef tallow fat?
Yeah, but not at the table. Don't take your food and put it on your face.
Yeah, you could do that after.
Right.
So I was telling this story to my producer and he said, oh, that reminds me. I want you to watch the RFK episode of Katie Miller's podcast. And I was like, why? And he said, well, because RFK's ideas just keep getting stranger and stranger and we just need Amanda's take on it. So now I'm gonna watch it so you don't have to, and we can just all go through this together. To be fair, we're not going to make you watch all of it because that would be torture. Yeah, we wouldn't make you listen to his voice for a whole hour. And I want you to know that I have not seen any of these clips. Let's watch this.
You're my second favorite person in your marriage. The other one, Cheryl, we already had on the episode, and she spilled some of your deep, dark secrets, which include that you take sauerkraut with you out to parties.
I do.
No. No. First of all, to be fair, Cheryl Hines is everybody's favorite person in that marriage. But sauerkraut, I don't even want to know, why does he carry sauerkraut with him?
Do you still take sauerkraut with you?
I went to dinner at the Ned last night, and I brought my sauerkraut.
Do you buy it at Whole Foods or do you make it yourself?
I do not make it myself. I get it. There's an extraordinary selection at Whole Foods and at some other places. There's an entire wall of fermented vegetables.
To be fair, we have many stories of him finding dead animals on the side of the road or the dead whale on the beach that he strapped to the top of his car. And so maybe his plan is if he finds a rotting carcass that he's going to eat, he can put some sauerkraut on it, which will mask the smell of decay. I almost feel bad for sauerkraut. It's a fine condiment. RFK. He is the head of Health and Human Services.
So this week has been a big week at HHS. You've had two major announcements, which I think reshape global public health for decades.
These are two major initiatives that I've been praying for 20 years. And one of them was to flip the food pyramid and actually tell Americans that they should be eating real food.
Was there any bit of controversy when you were writing the dietary guidelines or disagreement among the team on some of the guidelines?
There was bloodshed on every recommendation. It was, full hand-to-hand combat. We had...
What's the most controversial one?
I think saturated fats. Because there just wasn't good enough numbers. The science is not, out there yet.
I've read a lot of praise for the dietary guidelines, but some pushback in terms of saying that you should not have processed sugar. Now going from age 2 to age 10, saying, is that really serious that kids can't have a birthday cake till age 10?
We make recommendations based upon health impacts. So different people will have different successes complying with that.
Do you believe in the 80-20 rule? Which is...
Tell me what that rule is.
Okay, so it's like you do the best you can 80% of the time.
That's how Steve, your husband, decides which issues that we should go with, right?
It's, do you believe that you do the best you can 80% of the time and then turn to blind eye the 20%, right? So for example, you're the young mother going through the checkout counter and you're like, my kids, as much as I'm home with them and I cook them a whole healthy meal, I try to stick to your very high limits now on protein. And you know what, but they're want the cookie that they're going to give me at the counter. Do you just say, okay, it's the 20%, I'm going to look the other way?
Well, I mean, you can make any excuse for doing it, and we all do. So I don't quantify how many times I fail aspirationally.
I'm enjoying the body language of this. They're kind of leaning as far away from each other as possible, and it may be that she smells like Stephen Miller and he smells like sauerkraut. One of the things that was really frustrating about this is the actual food pyramid itself isn't that bad. Like, if you took it outside of the context that RFK is giving it, it's like, it's probably more high on protein than it needs to be, but vegetables are at the top, and it's true that people shouldn't be eating that many carbs. There were some problems with the old food pyramid. But his actual talk about it, he keeps obsessing over this idea that saturated fats are, I don't know, that people are like racist against saturated fats or something.
And then the other announcement we made this week was about resetting the vaccine schedule.
The second big announcement, vaccines. I don't even want to see this. This is so upsetting. Do you think it's that he just doesn't like to get shots? I bet it's that he doesn't like to get shots.
We know that vaccines are effective in preventing disease, that many of them are. Measles will prevent measles, generally speaking.
When you made the announcement about changing the vaccine schedule and going to a lesser number and creating more optionality and choice for mothers, because, for example, one of my children had a severe reaction to the rotavirus vaccine. I did not give my other two children the rotavirus vaccine after that. And I'm like, I've never even heard of rotavirus. Why am I vaccinating my children?
I have never heard of a disease that we have vaccinated out of existence. This is literally the argument of like, I used the umbrella, my head didn't get wet, so obviously it didn't rain. Jesus Christ.
And so I think a lot of moms, when the legacy media laughs at them or says, you know, we definitely need to give all of our kids the vaccines the same way we watch women guzzle Tylenol on TikTok. You know, I think it's one of those things where you're saying, thank God that there's common sense restored.
Guzzling Tylenol.
You know, you mentioned the rotavirus vaccine. And, you know, that's a good case. The rotavirus, you know, I never heard of rotavirus until I started doing this work.
Top health official in the country.
So as a pregnant mother who have gone through various forms of vaccination for all three of my children, if you would look at a young mother today and say, as Secretary of HHS, what would you currently recommend that I give my child upon birth?
You know, we've made our recommendations, and as an agency, I don't give medical advice to individuals because I'm not a doctor and I'm not competent to do that. But what I would say to people is do your own research. That, you know, this idea that you should trust the experts, a good mother doesn't do that. A good mother, when you buy a car, you look at the Yelp reviews.
A good mother doesn't trust the experts. Trust the Yelp review. Oh, God. Please vaccinate your children.
What's a conspiracy theory that you believe in?
All of them.
Well, I believe that glyphosate causes cancer. I believe that masks, that there's no scientific evidence that masks prevent the transmission of, or inhibit at all the transmission of respiratory illnesses. I don't think the COVID vaccine prevented transmission. All of those were once, and you know, I don't think social distancing worked. All of those things were, you know, conspiracy theories at one point when I first started talking about them, and they're now pretty much validated and acknowledged by all of the power centers of our society.
All the power, yes, because you fired everybody who knew what they were talking about and replaced them with AI chatbots, billionaires, and other assorted morons. All the power centers are people that believe stupid shit. How did that happen?
Now we're going to flip to my favorite portion of the show called Cabinet Confidential. where your answer can only be that of another cabinet member.
Oh, God.
That was the most relatable moment of RFK's life. You can only talk about another cabinet member. Okay. Only thing he and I have in common, we also hate all those people.
Who has the most unhinged eating habits?
The president. The interesting thing about the president is that he eats really bad food, which is McDonald's, and then, candy and Diet Coke.
If a quarter pounder with cheese isn't healthy enough for you, RFK, what you need to do is open it up and just put a bunch of beef tallow on it. Beef tallow and sauerkraut and maybe like a rotting whale corpse. Yum.
But he drinks the Diet Coke all times. He has the constitution of a deity. I don't know how he's alive, but he is. But
he has the constitution of a deity. Cut to any picture of Donald Trump at all. This big old bruises on his hands, his big old swollen ankles, sort of listing to the right. Constitution of a deity.
If you travel with him, you get this idea that he's just pumping himself full of poison all day long, and you don't know how he's walking around, much less being the most energetic person, any of us have ever met.
Cue to many, many, many images of Trump sleeping during meetings. Most energetic person you ever met.
I think he actually does eat pretty good food usually. I mean, he's incredible health. Dr. Oz looked at his medical records and said he's got the highest testosterone level that he's ever seen for an individual over 70 years old. I know the president will be happy that I repeat that.
High testosterone levels are not actually associated with being the healthiest person. They're associated with losing a lot of hair and having heart disease.
Would you rather be trapped in an elevator with the entire cabinet or at a dinner party with every political reporter in D.C.?
Oh, I would like to be in the elevator with the cabinet. That would be fun. I like the cabinet. I love this cabinet. I think the funniest guy in the cabinet is Marco.
We're now 5 for 5 on every single person saying Marco's their favorite. We have yet to have one cabinet secretary on this show who says anybody but Marco.
He's the funniest for sure.
What's the funniest joke he's told you? Or prank he's pulled?
He says something funny every cabinet meeting. He says something that I remember one time when Elon was talking about. He said there's 240,000 people that Doge had found who were over 114 years old who were collecting unemployment.
That's because they live on nothing but beef tallow.
And Marco said, well, in their defense, it's hard getting a job after you're 114. Well, that's the kind of thing that you hear from them all the time.
Oh boy, Marco sounds like a blast.
Who can do more pull-ups, you or Pete Hegseth?
I think I could do more in one, at a time. But he's pretty good. I maxed out when I did it with him. I did 24.
These people just want to be at the gym competing with each other all day on pull-ups. So why on earth do they have to have federal jobs to do that? Can we just write them a check to go hang out at Planet Fitness all day and just have pull-up contests? Some cute young women pay them $20,000 a day to watch RFK and Pete Hegseth do pull-ups, act impressed, and that would still be cheaper than whatever the fuck they're doing to our government.
Are there any Democrats who have secretly told you that they agree with you but can't say so publicly?
Yes.
No.
On which issues?
On foods.
What's the last book you read?
Katie Miller wouldn't know how to work a follow-up question to save her life. I think a 2-year-old could figure out a follow-up question to that. What about food?
What brand of vitamin do you take?
Well, I was taking Dr. Mercola, but I take all kinds of stuff. I don't know. I usually don't talk about that because I don't really want to offer myself as a role model for what people, should be taking. And my method is I read an article about something, and I get convinced that I got to have this stuff, and then I get it, and then 6 months later I'm still taking it. I don't remember what the article said, so I end up with a big crate of vitamins that I'm taking. I don't even know why.
I believe that. I believe that he reads an article and was like, well, I guess I'll just be taking 500 pills for the rest of my life.
Would you rather eat only fast food for a month or give up your morning routine for a year?
What do you mean?
Would you rather...
I don't eat fast food.
Right, but I'm asking you a question. Would you rather only eat fast food or give up your morning routine? You got to pick one.
If I had to eat fast food for a month, no, I would not give up my morning routine. That's I would rather do that even if I was eating fast food, and I would enjoy eating fast food. I like the taste of it. I don't think it's a good idea.
This is a man who spent most of his life at cocktail parties and yet nonetheless seems unfamiliar with a classic kind of cocktail party getting to know you question, which is, would you rather? He's how old and he's never had somebody ask, would you rather?
If you could host a dinner party with 3 people, dead or alive, who's sitting at the table and what are you eating?
I'm gonna stop this before we even hear it because I know every single person who's on this show, she asks this question and I think all of them say Donald Trump because they know where their bread is buttered. So I'm just gonna predict that's his answer right now.
And what are you eating?
Well, is my wife at the table too?
She's part of the 3.
She's one of the 3?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I mean, it would be her, and, it would be JD and President Trump.
What are you eating?
Steak. She'd be eating vegetables.
Thanks, Bobby.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Katie.
Mr. Secretary.
Oh, man. I like that he's like, is my wife there? Please tell me my wife is there. His own uncle and his own father died when he was small, and they are like legendary people. You know what? To be fair, I don't think he would want to have dinner with his uncle and his father because they would be so ashamed of him. Again, it's just amazing. Like, here's a man who was raised to and probably has spent most of his life mostly just having dinner parties with people, and he still can't even handle that. He's like, I need my wife there. I usually picked a mic drop question, but my producer did today and said that the world needs to see this, or at least I need to see this.
Hey everybody, this coming Wednesday at Harvest Riverside, we have a special event happening that's called Make Heaven Crowded. It's sponsored by Turning Point Faith, and Erica Kirk is going to be there speaking.
Oh my God, is that a threat? Everyone show up here and we're gonna make heaven crowded. Oh man. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. This makes it look like Erica Kirk is a speaker in heaven. Oh, that's wild. It's like, not only is it Make Heaven Crowded, it's at Harvest Church. I mean, this is sinister. This is like horror movie shit. I really do wish the rapture would come and take these people away. Oh. Yeah, thanks y'all for watching. We had so much fun doing this, and I hope you had fun watching it. And if you want to see more content like this, please let us know in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps us out, and it helps you see more videos like this in the future. RFK. He is the head of Health and Human Services. If you want more Standing Room Only episodes, please click the subscribe button below. Standing Room Only started as a newsletter, and it's free to read. Click the link to subscribe. I love tips. These political battles are playing out in your communities, your towns, your neighborhoods, your schools. If you have a story, please drop me a line or leave it in comments.